Capricorn, hi. This will be a reading for the sign of Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If it resonates, feel free to like and subscribe. You seem very focused on producing better results or changes in your life, more specifically. You know, it's kind of like being done looking at what has gone wrong, or like what you've sort of, you know, when you feel like you could have done something more behind you, or you're dwelling on disappointments or something. It's like that's all kind of thrown out the window, I would say. You know, you feel very assured in what you're doing. You also could be putting up boundaries with someone specific. Yeah, you're like, don't fucking come over here, dude. You know, it's like, clearly like sort of walking away from something, I would say. Ahead of you, you know, again, I feel like you're very focused on producing results, or you're very clear on your direction forward. And, you know, you're kind of giving it all of your fight in some kind of way. There's celebration ahead, but also sort of, well, you know, I see that devil, and I always think about the intensity associated with the devil, but that's Capricorn, right? So, you know, when you sort of hone in on making something happen, you know, you're thinking much bigger picture than sort of like a small win. And, you know, I think that you find yourself there. I mean, because there's a tremendous amount of motivation or inspiration. There could be some question around how things may turn out, or delivering justice in a situation, like say, because again, I can't get past this notion of setting a boundary in some way. It doesn't on the surface necessarily appear as what this reading is about, but also in the same time, that's very present in the reading. Maybe there's like an expectation of something to come or something to happen that you're sort of just like ready for, I guess. Let me pull the advice spread. Before I do that, I want to take a moment to promote my Patreon. That is where all of the extended versions of these readings go, as well as other exclusive content, and also grants you access to monthly art prints. That being said, it's a great way to support me as an independent artist and creative. And if you want to book a personal reading, I have several options for personal readings available on my website in the shop. It's interesting. You know, your entire advice spread is sort of coming out as if it's just encouraging you to do what you already seem to be doing. To be honest, I would say you're right on track. And I feel like, you know, it's encouraging you to make yourself very clear, or your intentions very clear, if you are sort of needing to set boundaries with someone or keep someone at a distance. Because it's almost like there's this wall of either frustration or hurt standing between you and someone else. And so I would sort of encourage you to like keep that wall there from what I'm seeing here. Yeah, like I feel like you've made sort of a choice on what you are willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And, you know, I think that the way you see patience, forgiveness, and, you know, dismissing certain things, I feel like all that's sort of changing, and you're less inclined to like let people back in when mistakes were made, sort of thing. I feel like you're almost like waiting for something to transpire. The outside influence seems sort of nervous or confused or something. But your outcome here, mind you, as a result of pretty much just doing what you're doing, because you're encouraged, your advice spread is pretty much just a reiteration of what is already happening. You seem to see really positive results for this. For one, I think you're headed straight towards success with something, or even recognition with something. There's a lot of creative momentum. There's a lot of change and evolution. And you may find a significant friend or like relationship of some kind, maybe, for this outcome. Yeah. You could have some potential with somebody or something like that. I don't know if it's anything major, but it could lead to something more major. If it's not a person, if there's no like significant person in your life, you're very likely evolving towards a really great success. But I do think that there is a person, because even in the things unseen, we have the Two of Cups. So you could unexpectedly meet someone or something like that. So I'm going to take this to the extended reading available on my Patreon. So if you want to join us over there, awesome. You can access that in the description below, as well as personal readings on my website. You can access all that in the description below. Again, thank you for being here. Definitely like, subscribe, all that, and have a good day.